Hello, everybody. Here we go. Hey, y'all. Thanks for coming. We got usual suspects here: Serpentor's Lair, As Holy and Cookster, Dave Frostdusk. We've got Storm Shadow 018. Thanks for coming.
What's up? What's up?
LD. Steven Johansson. Yeah, thanks for showing up. So today we're going to be talking about 3D printing stuff for GI Joe. We got Matt from Mosmind, Chris from Sys3dArsenal there we go. There he is.
There it is.
Hello.
Hello, brother.
How are you, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming.
Nice. Love the banner.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Is that the one you had up at Joe Fest?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
We're all planning the trip for Joe Fest next year.
Damn right. Damn right. 10th anniversary of Joe Fest.
Oh shit, yeah.
It's basically accumulate because even not this year 2026, even last year, like I dove headfirst into all this just early enough in like January at the end of December that by the time Joe Fest came, I wanted to go then. So this is 2 years that I was like chomping at the bit to go, and I missed it. So next year is like I've told my family, I've even told people I do business with, just cross it off your calendar. I'm not available. That's just no matter what.
Yeah, I think I got to do the same. I got to be like, nah, I can't go anywhere. You gotta,
right. Whatever comes up.
I was gonna go. I was like, I'm going. 2 days before, I'm just like, I can't. There's no way I fucking do this.
Yeah.
So
I felt like I was in the same boat that from 2025 Joe Fest all the way up until just kept saying I'm going to be there. I am not going to miss it. And then somewhere in January or February, I was like, I'm going to completely miss this. There's no way I'm going to do it. And that was having next year is for real, and that'll be fun. Especially after meeting, CG Horror, Riptide O'Leary, meeting them dudes in person. It was like, oh, this is as awesome as I expected it to be meeting you guys. So yeah, very much looking forward to that.
Definitely. I think next it's gonna be insane if like 20 of us go that all know each other, you know what I mean? Kind of through or via like virtually know each other anyway.
Right.
I do feel like I know some people, pretty well at this point,
For sure.
Anyway,
For sure.
So yeah, guys, thanks for coming, Matt and Chris. So just I guess Matt, maybe you can start us. Tell us, you're like, I guess I'm stealing from you, Destro Designs here. You do a GI Joe journey, right?
GI journey. Nice.
But what's your like relationship with GI Joe and how to come about?
Okay. So I was born in '83, right? So I went a little later into the line than I think a lot of people checked out, and also I didn't have cable. So I was kind of at the mercy of like what my grandmother would record for me on a VHS tape.
Yeah.
So like my canon is non-existent. It's what's up here, right?
Yeah.
So cool. my first experience with it, my dad bought me 2 figures, and this was before I was even in like kindergarten. I got them, and it was the Cobra Viper and Footloose. And I just thought they were the coolest toys because of how like articulated they were for the time.
That's a great start too, man.
And I knew nothing about them, right? Because just barely out of diapers, right? So,
right, yeah. What year is this?
83 is when I was
shit.
born. So
no, right? What year are you getting the?
Yeah. So
86.
I guess it would be probably 86. Probably I guess it would be 86 is when.
Wow, yeah.
I got that. So, but it was like all I wanted from then on out. Like before that, it was like Transformers I liked. And then after that, it was just G.I. Joe, always just G.I. Joe, which my parents loved because it wasn't very expensive, right? Before, right? They take me to like Toys R Us, like you can have anything in this store, and I'd go get like some like $3 G.I. Joe, right? So again, like I mixed Cobra and G.I. Joe, I'm sure. Like there were just figures I liked, and all of a sudden this was Cobra figure was now the good guy, right? When I was playing with it. So I don't mind really like kind of getting into like the vehicle design and stuff like that. Like the Vamp and the Stinger, G.I. Joe and Cobra, like that never bothered me because I was interchanging them anyways. Right? Then so I guess fast forward, the normal story of girls came into life and all of a sudden toys went away. you know, that's like that's really the greatest enemy to GI Joe, right? Is girls. But my son, we'll go back a little bit. I would go and like check out the toy aisle temporarily, like throughout the rest of my years, you know, college, go through like the Target toy aisle just to see what was there, because like toys are always cool, and it'd be interesting to see what they brought back. But like I was not a collector at the time then. And then my son, when he got to the age of like I like action figures, we were in Target, and I didn't know classified was a thing, and like the retro card Destro was up. What's that? And I was like, well, let me tell you what this is, right? And so like he got some and I got some, and then went home and I kind of like looked into it and I was like, they don't have any vehicles. GI Joe needs vehicles. I have this 3D printer, maybe I can find some files. And I did, and then I was like, I don't like these files, so let me figure out how to make my own files, and that's kind of where this started.
That's cool. That's very cool. All right, nice. Serpenter's Lair says, no, you went to the dark side, boobies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to balance the girls and the GI Joe at the same time, which does not go very well, because the girls, especially like now, I think it's fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a big deal. I started dating like a couple years ago, and you know, after being married for like, you know, almost 20 years, and I started dating, and it was like, you know, what do you? I was like, hey, by the way, I run just so you know, I also run an action figure, you know, YouTube channel.
Right.
She's like, whatever, you know what? The last 5 guys I dated were like borderline serial killers, so I'll take your.
That's nice though, the way that works out, where she's looking at it as a net positive.
Yeah,
I think that's
look, man,
that's great.
You know,
Right.
she's
For sure.
you know, around a little younger than me, but not much.
Right.
Like a year younger than me. And
dude,
so she's been around the block. She's like, I've dealt with them way worse than that.
Right.
Dude.
Right. Dude, I ran into people that I haven't seen in years, and I try to explain. It's hard for me to explain what a substantial portion of my life all this is now. You know what I mean? Between the podcasting, the photos, and the stuff I do now, you know, it's like everything outside of my kids is this, basically, like that. I mean, work obviously, but you know, yeah. It's a substantial part of my life.
So apparently so we hear there's a little dust up here between Joe Guy. Hello, says anybody else watching Larry Hama, Mark Belomo, Facebook Brawl? Bummer. Yeah, what are they brawl? No, I'm not paying attention.
Right. We know what it is.
Probably on the web, you know, I've been on the GI Joe Uncensored for like a decade, so I don't know, you know, probably we'll see it later, but whatever.
You can't argue with an old guy like Larry, because they don't give a fuck. Like you're not winning an argument against that guy. He's not changing his mind. He's there entertaining himself by arguing with you.
And no one cares about your opinion compared to his, frankly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He orchestrated my childhood. I don't really care what you think.
It's like that meme with the one dude drawing the sword against the hordes of people that are going to have Larry's back no matter what he's saying, you know. That's
nice.
fun.
Happy Plague Doctor says, hey, as a girlfriend who lets him complain about the price of Iron Grenadiers. So, that passes, man. That works.
That's a real thing, man. That Destro came out. BBTS had them for $25.99. They sold out that day. Now, who knows how many they had, but they sold out that day. And now everywhere you look, they're like $45 or more.
I know, it hurts. I only got 2 of them. I need like more. But it could be on heroin. Exactly. It could be on heroin instead. You didn't do that. You know, what are you going to do? How about you, Chris?
G.I. Joe, well, you know, like, it's funny, like, I don't know if it was the comic book that got me into it first or the coloring book. One of my first memories is the coloring book.
Yeah, man. That shit's real.
What was it, Crisis in the Arctic or whatever? Had a coloring book. Or maybe it was an activity book. I don't know. But I was one of those kids that would go, like, walk to, like, the local bookstore and just hang out, like, all Saturday or whatever and read the comics. And so I was always, like, a comic person. So it may have been the comics. But I remember spending a lot of time with that Arctic Mission coloring book. And there was another one, too, that I had. But like I remember, I don't know if it was I got them both at the same time, but my first figures were Snake Eyes and Stalker.
Oh, nice.
And of course they're like two of my favorites, like probably because they were my first.
Mm.
But
Wow.
you know, like I was when did they come out? 83. So I was like 10 at the time. So really like I only lasted a couple years with G.I. Joe, like being really into it. But I had younger brothers, so it kind of hung on for a while because they were buying them. Also, I would say mid like 85, all the movies were like Vietnam centric and like, you know, Platoon and Full Metal Jacket and all that stuff. And that kind of hung on as well, collecting the figures. But I kind of got in those years, I kind of got more out of the crazy stuff. So like I don't buy like a lot of the bright neon colored figures, and because they weren't my thing. I stuck to then, like even back then, after the first couple waves, I only purchased ones that were, well, of course, you got to buy some of the Cobra stuff, but I bought more things that were realistic military and not the crazy whacked out stuff. Like I never owned sci-fi. Well, I never bought sci-fi or some of the other psych out stuff like that. I did have some of the Dreadnoks, but for the most part, my people, they were more realistic looking figures. And
well, the Dreadnoks look like realistic scumbags.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They always reminded me.
I don't even mean that. They look like, you know, whatever, metal dudes.
So when in the mid 80s, when I was, you know, 7 years old, 8 years old, and at the peak of my G.I. Joe psychosis, I remember that they looked like all the Dreadnoks looked like the kids that were in high school. The scumbag kids that, like, I swear to God, you can look it up. There's a group of kids. They were like metalheads. They legit in high school were grave robbers. It was a group of these scumbags, and they all. I'm not kidding. You can look it up. They literally
were getting shit-faced with them behind the graves, weren't you?
It was. They were the Dreadnoks.
They weren't your friends. They weren't your friends.
Oh no, I didn't know them. At the time. No. I'm saying when I was 7 or 8, these were the kids that were in high school, and the only reason I know the only reason I know that is because like I had a young one of my mother's sisters was a teenager when I was 7. My mom had a bunch of family, so she was still in high school. She dated this one guy, and I remember him pointing it out. Like I remember the picture. They were showing me the picture in the newspaper. Do you see what these kids did? Don't do shit like this when you grow up. And they had weird fucked up hair, you know, the shirts that got cut off at the midriff, and it was considered totally heterosexual. And they had, you know, the hair, definitely, I can't stress enough the weird ass hair and shit. But yeah, they were sunglasses inside. They were the
You know what? I can go along with most of the things, like whatever. If you're going to metalhead, you want to have a sleeveless shirt and some long hair and shit.
Sure.
The cutoff shirt's a bit much, so yeah, you can't do the cutoff. No cutoff.
Oftentimes a fishnet cut off mid-rip. Yeah. I'm looking at you, low light version 2. It's very similar aesthetic to that. But
Ripper's cutoff shirt is not. You gotta have some abs for that shit. But
for sure.
Even that was the 80s thing, the cutoff shirt. I remember.
Yeah, it was very 80s.
Jocks wore cutoff shirts in the summertime.
That's true.
They should know though.
I mean, with the mullet back, I'm sure that shirt's coming back too if it's not already.
Chris, you collected. You collected a lot of Star Wars when you were a kid too, right?
Yeah, like I had a lot of Star Wars. I mean, I collected everything. I had Buck Rogers. I had Battlestar Galactica.
That's cool.
I had some of the Flash Gordon figures. I mean, I had a lot. I had Micronauts. I was big into Micronauts before Star Wars. So I mean, like, yeah, I had everything. I tell people a lot that I kind of lived 2 or 3 different childhoods, because at one point I lived with my grandparents and they were kind of well-to-do, so that I got spoiled with that, living with them. And then my mother wanted me back, and I went and lived with my mother, and she was not well-to-do. She was the opposite. So like I had this whole dichotomy of switching from being spoiled to being not spoiled. And then like this whole thing of my mother, my brother, so my mother was remarried, so she had other kids, so I had half brothers, and my grandparents weren't allowed to spend money on me because it wasn't fair to my brothers. So it was like this whole thing. So
damn,
yeah. I was a paper boy, so I bought all my own stuff. So like I remember, I had a lot of stuff. It's really amazing. Like you go back and look. I don't know if you guys look at Vintage Toy Emporium's website or Facebook posts, but they post all those pictures from like the Sears catalog, and it's amazing how when I see those, I'm like, I had that. It's pretty crazy.
It triggers something when you see those ads. It really does. I had like the opposite thing with my grandparents. So on my mom's side of the family, you know, my parents got divorced for years and then remarried. But in the years they were divorced, most of those I lived with my grandparents, and I was the oldest grandchild on that side. And not even just looking back, I even knew as a kid then that they bought me way more shit than all my cousins. Like it wasn't even like, even as a kid, I noticed, I'm like, why don't you guys buy them all this shit too? You know what I mean? And I got a lot of Joes every year. I would go with my grandfather to Pennsylvania, and there was this one collector store. I got comic books, I got a vehicle, and a bunch of dudes every trip. So I was always ecstatic to go down there. But yeah, grandparents are good for that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So what's that?
Oh, yeah, so like I remember, like just to show you how this was, like I remember seeing the Star Wars figures for the first time, like on the end cap, 1970, what was it, 78? Then I got C3P and R2D2 for some reason. That was the ones I picked. And of course they were all available, so those are the ones I picked. I was probably 5 at the time. Went home, and I was like, Granddad, they're lonely. We went back to the store, got the entire wave. Got all the figures, got the spear, everything.
So Serpentor's Lair asked, did you trade toys for Babes? Was that the crossover? Did you end in order to?
Pretty much. Yeah,
pretty much.
Happy Plague Doctor says, what's the difference between a grave robber and an archaeologist? And the answer is felonies.
Yeah.
Location. Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the things I stopped playing with the toys, but I was even collecting back then, because I remember like Visionaries. I bought Visionaries just because they were like, I've always stuck into toys because I've always been interested in the design of the toys and the functionality of the toys, like mask toys. I was a little bit too old to play with mask toys, but I still bought some of them because the engineering of them, and it was cool.
They're so cool.
I remember I bought Visionaries, didn't really play with them, but I just put them on the shelf and posed them. And then also, I don't know if a lot of people don't know about this toy line, but Starcom.
Starcom, the magnets.
Yeah, I bought a lot of the Starcom figures. I remember they were so cool with the way the different modules nested inside the vehicles and the magnet feet, and they could stick on different things.
I still find some of them in my grandparents' house, like stuck to things.
Yeah.
Right. Like just been here for decades at this point.
They're pretty cool, man. Yeah, I think once you look at it, it's like it's become like an art. It's like an art form now. It's more like, I think a lot of people, they don't, maybe they don't play. I do play with them. I'm gonna admit, I'm not shy about telling people I play with them, legit. But a lot of people don't. They like pose them, and they're just like appreciate the art. It's an art.
Mm-hmm.
It's so even days that I don't have time to set up a whole shoot, like if I'm down here doing something else over there, I can just come over here and like this dude's just sitting here. It doesn't matter. I could just sit here. I could pose him like this, change him like that, literally just play with him the tiniest little bit for 5 minutes and then walk away, and I feel like I did something. It's literally exactly like you did as a kid. You were like, oh, this looks interesting, this is pretty cool, I like what this says when I put it here and I make it look like this. I as much as probably a true art snob would hate to admit it, it is. You're creating something visual to elicit a response. Like, oh, that man looks like he's ready for action. Like even if it's something as basic as that, I would say that's what that is for sure.
I gotta admit, even like you're saying, like an art snob, and it's like, I gotta admit, like I go to a museum sometimes and I'm like, all right, painting, and then I'll see some shit, which it'll be like a G.I. Joe panel, or like a comic book panel of anything, or a movie panel, or an illustration from like a book from like the 80s, and I'm just like, it does more for me. It just does more for me. I'm like, I know, I'm like, whatever. It just, it's all art, like whatever. Some jackass said this is important, and nobody said this is important, and I find it important.
I always looked at art, like true museum art and fashion, as like almost, I don't know if I was gonna say almost a grift, because like you ever go and watch like a true fashion show, you're like, who fuck wears this? Nobody wears this. I've never seen somebody walking down the street wearing this. And then you'll go into, you'll go like into a museum, or you'll hear about a oh, this painting sold for $3 million. You see the painting and you're like, what? Who gives a fuck? It's like it's nothing, and no disrespect to any of the artists or anything like that. But my personal thing is, and you're like, wait a minute, is this campy? Wait, you got somebody to pay $3 million for that 8x16? Like, just please, But then again, some people look at us and they go, how many of those figures do you have?
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
No, it's like Mondrian, like the freaking squares and shit.
That's right. Yeah, or Jackson Pollock.
Bullshit. Sorry, Chris. What were you saying?
I studied art, and like I'm one of those weird people at the museums that are like standing like right in front of the painting, looking at the strokes and like the detail and how many different colors they use to make that. And
see, that makes sense. that I can appreciate, or like like things like if you look at Da Vinci sketches, where
that's amazing.
That shit's that's the most coolest stuff. But there's just some like, and maybe not even sculptures. But then all right, so then there's this other thing where now you find they've run out of like actual. Some of them run out of talent, and you can see they do the things like the lady that gets up on that stool. And she's like holding these two bars and her knees are on the stool. And that's the piece of art. They're charging people $100 to walk through. And that's where I go, okay, what, I mean, but what you're saying though, is the choice is made with, the medium, like, oh, it's on a canvas, it's a this, it's a that.
Even like those fashion shows, like you say, people don't wear those clothes, but it's an art form for them to come up. They're making art with fabric for the most part. So it's not necessarily intended to be worn
everyday wear.
They're being an artist with fabric and proving that they can do. And some of it is ridiculous and looks stupid.
Yeah, I mean, there is a certain level of BS, right? Like, to get to the good stuff, you got to sift through it.
Yeah, that's true.
I studied art history and like I enjoy some of it, but then there was always that shit that does, like Operative D is saying here, when it's like a white canvas that's straight up art, like white. And you're like, fuck this person.
But it's an eggshell white.
Did you guys watch the Daredevil season, Born Again? Like in that last season 2 of Born Again, Kingpin, like part of it is this painting that Kingpin bought at an art gallery from Vanessa. And it's pretty much just this white. It's a canvas just painted white, pretty much. And it's like the greatest thing ever to him.
Right. Yeah, again, people look at could come down into this little studio, and if they saw the dollar value, they'd be like, "You're nuts. You're just nuts. Like, I can't believe it's just plastic. Like, what is it? These are toys. These are children's toys." So believe me, I feel like I'm not trying to throw it inside a glass house. It's like, no, I know I'm crazy too.
Oh yeah, whatever. Hey, and you're gonna respect anybody's grift if you figure out a way to monetize some bullshit. You threw some white paint on a canvas, you put it, and somebody paid you $100 for it. I respect your grift.
I never
understand that is what it is.
Right. I never begrudge anybody making $1. That's for sure. If you're out there earning that money one way or the other.
I mean, if I've proved that I'm a sucker, like Hasbro has me by the balls. Like I buy all these toys, and they're in boxes, and I never look at them. I spend all this money. I've bought vintage collection figures for probably 15 years, and I haven't opened up one in 12 years. And
that's crazy.
I just buy them, and I buy 2 of every one of them almost.
Right.
And I put them in case I want to set them up. Like I need to start selling them is what I need to do. I probably have like 12 pens of vintage.
It's like that board your dad's kept through like 4 different moves in the garage. And you're like, I'm going to use it one. It's a good piece of wood, right? Like,
I'm definitely going to use this. This is definitely going to get used.
No, you guys, do you buy classified?
See one time? I missed that.
Oh, sorry. Do you guys buy the classified stuff?
Oh yeah,
I do.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You buy everything, or do you like pick and choose?
Not anymore.
No, I can't.
After like 100, I think it was before 100. It was probably in the 80s is when I stopped buying every figure.
I definitely buy the ones that I remember, and then I buy the ones that I wish I had. And then there's some that'll like come out of nowhere, like Budo, that just like really impresses me, and I'm like,
Yeah, I don't buy all the repaints. It's like a lot of times it's.
Now I can be a sucker for repaints if it's the right kind, right? Like turning everybody into an Arctic version or a desert version. Like
I would buy almost every
right?
one.
Like if you start going in like the neon stuff, no, not so much. But if there's like a motif that makes sense, right? Like that, you got me. That's
yeah.
Overkill's the first one I've got in a while that I was like, like even the special forces that I was whatever, even that, like it's just the price. Like if it was $8, $9, $10 less, I'd be like, oh, this is fine. But yeah, Overkill's the first one that I actually got in house and was like, oh, I'm gonna just return this and get something else.
Someone painted his legs like a metallic gray instead, and was like already like 100 times better.
Okay.
All of a sudden, a figure I was like kind of interested in.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to paint him. He's just his paint looks stupid.
Well, I mean, that green looks ridiculous, and it looks out of place, and it just like if you're going to make a killer robot or hybrid robot or whatever, like why would you paint his chest bright green?
Out of
why
all
would
the
you
ones
make him look like a moving?
Why would you create a target for them to aim at?
Right in the chest, right in the chest, the most vital parts. I think it's really what it is. Like if you took the green and put the green over here, and then you have the rest of the colors, I can take them separately, but it is a unholy union when you put the green against that gold. It makes the gold look terrible. It makes the green look weird, and it makes him look like a moving safety cone.
It's almost like having Destro with his shirt open, and instead of just skin, it's just like a bright green shirt. Like it's like the same thing almost.
Yeah, I remember the original toy I liked. It came with one of those like sound effect backpacks, right?
Yes. Oh, Sonic
But
Fighter.
like his neon colors were fine because everybody else was neon then.
Right.
Like so it matched, but we're not there yet, you know. So like I was saying, like anybody that deserves like the classified treatment, like that would have been a cool one to see.
Yeah, then if you got to do the stupid retro, because right now what they're doing is they do shit where it's like they might as well just not even do a retro because they've already put it out in a way that's so close. It's like why
airtights. We were talking about that the other day, and then I felt like there was another one that came out recently. That also I don't remember which one it was, but it was also very much. Oh well, even this. So I finally opened Deep 6, and I don't want to say I regret to say it because I was so like skeptical at first, but I love it. It's awesome.
That thing is badass. Yeah.
It's definitely the proportion thing, right? Like, so I took his head off and I put Grunt's head in there, and honestly it looked good. The only it looked good. It just looked Grunt's head looked like it was down a little bit too low. But it's just the arms look long for the size of the head. That's what got me. But honestly,
supposed to be servo like arms. They said that.
Okay. So
those aren't his hands, in other words.
Right. And which you can honestly does when you look at the hands, they definitely look like they're individual steel fingers, right? So you get that vibe. Once I got it in hand, once I got it out of the package, I immediately was like, oh, this is awesome. So it's basically there's not much of a classified up per se. It's really accurate to the original. I'm absolutely in love with the fact that this spear thing stores on his backpack, and then you can stick it on his arm because it does look super. It does look super cool on his arm, but at the same time, it really looks cool in the backpack. So I actually have a stand right here that I've got a set of these off Amazon. Wetsuit's going to go right next to him, and I'm definitely doing what's going to like an underwater shot. Because, dude, this thing is awesome. Like, look at his head. It looks great in this one. And I do love that they have I think I have it in a bag over here somewhere.
There's so many good underwater guys now at this point. A lot of people hated that on that diver set. I love the diver set.
It's cool.
It was fun. I don't, it wasn't great, but it was a fun.
It's cool. It's definitely, and I like
device that came with accessories. That's what that was.
Pretty much.
Now it's super accurate.
Nice. Wait, hold on.
Oh.
All right, here we go. Oops. Oh my God, what is going on here?
Mine does the same thing.
Trying to like do the thing where I keep the video and you at the same time, and it's not all that easy. Okay, so this is what I want. All right, just four heads.
There we go.
That looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely.
So anybody on the fence,
the
don't mess
original
around.
Is a shitty figure. You know, it's a 2-point of articulation figure.
Yeah. No. Definitely. Like the feet actually have an incredible range of motion for how big, because they can even go like side to side. But now it's like if you have him floating, going up or something like that, because he definitely looks like a bottom walker. But his backpack has, what appear to be little thrusters. This here, I especially like, as much as I love the original giant glass dome, this helmet that the new helmet that I don't clip it in all the way because I know I'm going to take it off, but this giant head right here is awesome. It's freaking awesome. So, again, just another example of me, not having my glasses on when looking at the render on the screen and going, I'm not going to get that. And then I get it here in the house with my glasses and I go, this is a 9 out of 10, which is what I gave it the other night on the podcast. I was like, oh, this is not only good, this is like an outstanding figure. First I think I said 8.7, then I was like, nope, it's a 9. That's a fantastic figure.
I'm pretty much all in on any character. I'm going to get any character they come out with, even if I don't want it. Like, Arn doesn't excite me, but I'm just not in on the repaints. That's the stuff that stops me. Is just like, I don't need to get, like, I'm really on the fence if I want that, like, Snake Eyes Ferret, thing.
Right.
I don't know if I give a shit about
I want
Snake Eyes, a green Snake Eyes.
I think he looks cool. I think the ferret looks cool. I don't want the trouble bubble. How many trouble bubbles do I need?
Yeah, there's a lot of trouble. It's a good looking trouble bubble, but
it's really good. I got 3. Yeah. I got 8 of the Python Patrol ones because I got a couple of them on sale. So I do got a few of those, but I only got 3 of the white ones. I've never gotten a deal on those. I think I have a bunch of extra Televipers that I got from a guy. He wanted like $15 for just a Televiper. I was like, sure. But I wouldn't mind a couple more of these. I got 5 snake armors and 4 claws. So it's like 3 trouble bubbles, 4 claws, 5 snake armors. That's the procession of things.
The divorce waiting to happen, man.
Oh, believe me, it ain't going to be the toys that'll do that. It'll be our ever-growing hatred for each other.
I've been there. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into your hopefully you're kidding. Let's get into your what you guys do here. So, because I know nothing about, I know not nothing, but I don't know a ton about 3D printing. Matt kind of already told us like sort of how he got into it. So Chris, how did you get into 3D printing?
It was really like during COVID, I was starting, of course, being bored. So I was starting to break out some of my Star Wars action figures out of storage to kind of set them up and play with them. And I was part of this. It was a weekly photograph kind of thing during COVID, to where somebody would set up a type of photo, like a theme to the photo, and then you had to go take a unique photo every week and post it to Facebook. And so I kind of got into that, and I was doing like stuff around the house and outside, and then I started doing action figures, and then I was like, well, like it would be great to have like some walls or whatever for the figures. And one of my coworkers was printing me gonk droids. I don't know if you know what a gonk droid is from Star Wars. He printed me a couple of those and mailed them to me, and I was painting them and customizing. What
is a gonk droid? Can you remind me?
The little
like the trash can
garbage can looking droid. It looks like 2 Tupperware bins flipped upside down.
Oh, is he in the Death Star at the original?
I think he was in the Sandcrawler.
Yeah, the Jawas had a lot of them. Right?
Yeah, they have. It's a battery droid, pretty much. They're in like all the movies, but it's pretty much a box with legs. But so.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. So and then I started. I used to create custom boards for Unreal Tournament, like maps and stuff. And so I was already kind of into 3D modeling stuff.
Oh, nice.
And so I just started 3D modeling and got a printer and started playing around with it. And then I don't know why, but I focused more on because I guess G.I. Joe came out right around that time too, the classified line. And I started making G.I. Joe walls before I made the Star Wars walls, which was kind of weird because I originally started to do it for Star Wars. The drive was Star Wars, but I started doing them for G.I. Joe instead for some reason.
It has that effect on people.
Yeah. So, and really like it. Then it came into I was like, well, I have a wall now. Now I need crates. I need like other stuff, and that's kind of how it all started. And I post pictures, and people are like, where'd you get that at? And I was like, I made that. They're like, can I have it? I was like, well, I guess. So originally, like I put the files that I made out there for people. They're like, well, I don't have a 3D printer. Can you print it for me? I was like, well,
yeah, I'm too lazy for this shit.
And so that's how it started. Like people wanted what I made, and I didn't think it was going to. Like I didn't get into it to sell the stuff, but that's where it went because of the desire from other people from what I created.
That's very cool. Okay, nice. Well, let's look. So I've got your stuff queued up, and we can take a look, and you can sort of talk me through. Oh, actually, we have Michael's pictures of your stuff first. Let's do that. We'll talk about that here. So this is yours, Chris, right? This is your stuff.
Yeah.
So nice. Okay.
Tool chest, tool cabinet, and armory cabinets there.
Very cool. Yeah. So is that you do a lot of like storage, right? Like a lot of kind of like just sort of like world building, kind of necessary. I'm wondering why Classified doesn't do shit like that. It's like, well, I'm glad you do it.
I'm glad they don't, right?
Like, you'd be glad they don't. Right?
But it seems like they are starting to now. I think they are starting to they're starting to put crates and stuff, and like that control panel.
They suck at that though. Look at that fucking computer, man.
Yeah, that thing sucks. This is not bad, but
that's pretty good.
But what Chris makes is 10 times better. Like this is like doesn't really work. It kind of falls apart a little bit. It's like way off. Chris's shit is tight.
Well, I think they did too much with it. They made it too modular. They wanted to work with that porta potty, whatever it's called.
Right.
I think if they would have just made a crate or the thing that's modular, they would have done a better job. But because they wanted it to do both, it just
that's also set up for like a mold for mass production. So like tolerances are like through the freaking roof on that, right? Right. I know in the comments on your last show, Mike, they were talking about like Hasbro's peg size, and like while they do have a standard peg size, that can vary from pack to pack.
I make stands as well with pegs, and I've noticed by testing them out that there's certain figures like the peg depth is different from other ones. Like I think like scrap iron peg is a lot shorter than the hole was a lot shorter.
Backpack pegs used to be like whatever they felt like. I feel like for their characters, like Grunt's backpack fits Grunt. Like that's it.
It's fucking no brainer for them to make stands. I don't understand why they don't just come out with a pack like fit. Because I'm actually struggling with stands. I got these stands, they don't like they barely work.
Seen a cool design where it's got this little hoop that goes over their front toe rather than the peg in their shoe.
Yeah, that was Landspeeder Luke that made those.
Fit more in it, but then you're covering part of their foot. But it looks a little better, I think.
Something like that, though, what you're talking about, Matt, would be good for, like, you see these people where they've got all their figures lined up on a big, huge shelf, and all I keep thinking is, the knockover. Like, so the only ones that I have, like, so I just have my Python Patrol just kind of standing up over there, and, like, right now, probably 20 of the 60 are falling the fuck over, and every time I go over there, and listen, nobody comes over here but me. I don't bump that table. That shit just falls over. I don't know how people do it. Like, that dude, Country Gentleman's got that huge wall, or Thano Mouse. He's got a room full of shit standing up. It's like, how does this shit, like, what do you do when it falls over?
With those, no kidding, I would be shoving like the little tiny neodymium magnets up in that peg hole and just have a metal plate. Just be done with it.
I like the way that sounds.
What magnets are there?
Neodymium. It's the rare earth magnets.
Yeah.
But they make some really tiny ones. I would imagine it still has enough oomph.
I mean, even if you had to drill the hole out a little bit
to hollow out
to get it to fit, and
just don't heat up a magnet. Just don't heat up a magnet.
Right. Well, that's if I had to believe me.
I don't want to do anything.
If I win the lottery, I'm gonna bring my kids to school, and I will be down here all day doing this shit. I want to make some customs. I want to try my hand at painting some of these things. There's I have so much to play with in this room, and I don't. I mean, it's time is coming. Remodel's almost over, so. But yeah. Yeah,
I like letting other people do it, and then I buy it. So yeah, there we go. Let's look at some more stuff. So yeah, there you go. You know, this was a big mistake on their part. They came out with short fuse and no place for him to carry a shell.
And they only gave him one.
Yeah.
Like it's, I mean, I get they're, you know, what are they going to do? Come up, but they could have maybe on the backpack where the mortar thing came. Which don't get me wrong, that's a cool backpack. The mortar thing sits on there nice. I think that's cool. But you could have made a little thing on the end and put a mortar in each one, right? And just clipped it in there. But yeah, that's what the focus of this whole shoot was that mortar case right down there. Yeah,
Michael took these pictures, by the way. Yeah.
During my research in that, the military has that exact thing. They have a backpack that has 2 tubes in it and a space for the mortar, the launcher thing. And it's, I don't know why they just didn't make the backpack look like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was such a mistake. I mean, not to shit on them because they're great and you know, they do a lot of good stuff. So I'm not trying to be, but that was to me like one of those things where you're just like, what are you doing? Like, you can't go in a battle with one mortar.
Right.
What are you gonna do? He goes home, he shoots one off, and he goes home. You know what I mean?
He's that good.
Tell you this, I ain't carrying. Right, that's funny, but I ain't carrying that thing to shoot off one mortar. You gotta let me at least get 3 off. You know, that's so much work.
Mm-hmm.
But that was great. I got to use a lot of different figures in this.
That's why he's in GI Joe. He's one-shot short fuse.
Right,
he is amazing at it. That is on his file card. He can like.
That is fun.
But okay, nice. So here we go. Here we're seeing some of your mission crates. You get the logo on there. Nice. And all the lockers? Is that
that's the locker setup, which is just killer. Yeah. And I try to always make the point to people whenever I'm talking about any of the locker setups and the mission crates or any of that kind of stuff is that you can put it on the shelf and it'll hold stuff for you. So if you've got figures who have all these extras and accessories and things like that, you know, you don't have to put them in a bag. You can get some mission crates and stick the stuff in there. I mean, especially Chris has the ones that are specifically made for certain figures, right? Like if you've got the true, I couldn't name them all off the top of my head, but even like the Dreadnoks, he's got crates that will fit all their stuff, or like I think I sent the Major Blood one, but yeah, it's actually helps you store your stuff at home and look incredible, like just amazing.
Yeah, that's why I did it, because like what they get all these extra accessories. What are you supposed to do with them? And like, so I started making crates for that. I have a lot of other ones that are more modular and don't have the specific like foam for the weapons cut out. Like it has dividers and stuff, but they take so long to print that they would be like $40 a piece.
Right.
People pay for them, so like. You can just go buy a Tupperware thing. So I don't really sell them.
Before I had the pleasure of meeting Chris, I had found his files on Colts, and I had gotten those just for that reason. I print out the large ones just to keep all the extra stuff in.
Yeah.
Well, I have even larger ones that I don't have out there.
Yeah, I did a bunch of these. So my idea was, when I do get everything up on the shelf, I made some of these. Now, again, I made these. Chris's stuff looks way better, but I got like the deep red and the Viper blue, and then I got a bunch for the Alley Viper.
Oh, you 3D printed stuff?
Yeah. I've got a machine, and I actually just the other day I cleaned it up, and I do want to sit down and get into getting a few more things, because there's like, you know, if I build the dial, I want to be able to put like an electrical panel or, you know, just little things like that I know I can print up on there. Because right now what I have, bro, is I have shelves of stuff over here that were parts and pieces that I've been collecting for about 18 months, thinking, oh, this will look great in the dial. I'll just paint it and do this to it and it'll look great. I'm never going to fucking do that. I'm never going to paint that thing. I'm never going to use it. So I'm getting rid of all that shit because I need more space with all the Arctic stuff that's coming right now. Like, so I've got to make room. But yeah, that's I'm trying to get back into that 3D printing. I did it a lot. I printed a ton of those little lockers.
Well, we got a legitimate question, and then we also have a lot of conversations about short fuse being one shot. So let's go into the legitimate question and then address those. So, which of course went sexual, which is like how it always goes. But and I think and that's my what's that?
I said Woodsporn is here.
Yeah, and I think I take ownership of that because I'm the guy that brings the Woodsporn energy. Thank you, Happy Plague Doctor, for the $10 super chat. To the 3D guys, is there anything cool you can make with resin printer? Resin is fragile. What do you guys use? What do you use? I guess would be the question. Matt, I'll ask you first, then Chris.
Well, so primarily both of us, I don't want to speak too much for you, Chris, but primarily we make stuff with the FDM printers, which is like a spool of filament that gets heated up, and there's this head that moves around, and it does it layer by layer and builds it up, right? So then resin starts in a liquid form. It's in a vat, and it cures with UV light, and it just kind of pulls it up. It's kind of fun to watch. It looks like it's like this cauldron of goo that you're just pulling this thing out of, right? I just probably within the last 6 months I've added resin to my stuff, and so I'm still playing with it. But the short answer there is yes, you can make stuff with resin because there's different types of resin. Like Gridiron's weapons are resin printed, and while you can break a Gridiron weapon, like they're pretty durable, right? As long as like you're not being stupid with them. But not all resins are the same, and some are more fragile than others. So there's like ABS types of resin out there that work really well. I've been experimenting with. I have a Hager's printer, so they have this sort of like own ecosystem of resin, but they've opened it up so you can use other people's stuff. But they kind of have like a not so descriptive naming ecosystem. So it's like what this particular resin is, I'm not really sure what it is, but they have like engineering level resins that are really strong that you could make like a functional mechanical part out of. So it's finding the right resin. Some people mix their resins, make their own like concoction with it, you know. So the limiting factor with resin more is like size. So you're relying on this screen to produce that UV light. So that build plate is only so big, and there's some bigger ones out there, but if you compare them to the size you can get with an FDM printer, like it's not even close, right?
Okay.
And it's also cheaper with an FDM printer, like as far as just operating, and a lot safer if you don't know what if you're a new printer, 9 times out of 10, I would say go with an FDM printer first, because like resin may or may not be toxic. The FDM filament, especially like the PLA, like basic stuff, like you're probably going to be fine, right? It's just plastic. So I'm trying to not go too deep into that.
The resin definitely is a lot more dangerous as far as the chemicals and the fumes and things like that, and you definitely need to be in a ventilated area.
Like I'm lucky, and I have an entire other building on my property that I run all my machines in. So like the venting and stuff, I just walk away once it's going, right? So I'm fine. But like if you're working inside your house, like you definitely have to think about like, where am I going to put this resin printer? What am I going to do with the resin when I'm not using it? Like, how do I get rid of the stuff that's like the excess? Because you have to wash it. It's fun, but it's a lot more involved.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, you can get like I don't have a resin printer, but I've talked to people that do and watched a lot of videos on it because I've thought about buying them, and you can get a lot more intricate and small, like create smaller parts with the resin printers. But there is a lot more cleanup and maintenance that you have to do compared to the FDM printers.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. We also have questions here. You think it's humanly possible to do like a giant group diorama, like once a year? You have a prepared place, everything is planned.
I actually think that's a cool idea, like Joe Fest, and maybe you like auction it off, or do blind or have people bid on it or whatever.
That's a great idea. Yeah, totally.
Or everybody can like buy a chunk, right? Kind of like the Berlin Wall, right?
You
take it down.
No, an auction would be great. Yeah, you just throw in
give it some charity or something. That'd be fun.
$10 and somebody leaves with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be that big. How do you want it? But I mean, I'd love to see a pit. It'd be amazing.
There's people that have made them, right? Like
really?
Yeah, there's big ones, and there's a difference, right? There's like some guys that like they're just in it for their hobby, so they don't mind, taking a room in their house and making this emplacement, right? Versus like something like what I have to do, where I go, how am I going to ship this to somebody who's going to buy it? Like that kind of comes in. I would love to make a Defiant, but who has space for another piece of furniture, right? Like I had one guy, there's William. I'll just say his name is William. He messages me all the time. He comes up with these great ideas, and he wanted the mobile command center. He wanted a version of mobile command center. And I'll go through it with him because it's fun to do the idea with him. And he's like, okay, well, let me ask my wife about it. And then I never hear anything back again until the next idea comes, right? Because, you know, it's just too big and too expensive. So I get it, but it's still fun. So.
R.A. Rain. Hello, R.A. He's saying you could even do it where everyone picks a section of the diorama and is in charge of how it looks. That could be very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could do something. I mean, similar to what I had set up at Joe Fest. I don't know if you saw that, but
yeah. That's awesome.
We could do different rooms, and then people could bid or like buy the different rooms as a group. I don't know if you heard, Mike. Somebody asked the question if it's possible for us to kind of do like a group diorama and like have it set up in one place or whatever. And we were talking about potentially the possibility of maybe doing it at Joe Fest and have people bid on it or buy the parts. Or
yeah, that'd be wild.
Well, that'd be the best place to do it, right? Most of us. We're never all going to be in the same place as much as we will be at Joe Fest, so yeah. I like it. That sounds good.
If everyone gets on board and petitions to get me a booth next to Chris, then we'll have the space. We can put up a bunch of stuff.
Well, that can be arranged. I mean, did you hear back from them yet?
No, that's what I was talking about on Mike's show. I was like, that guy, I can't remember his name. I got it written down somewhere, but he's so freaking busy. I'm just going to have to be a bug in his ear for every month until he tells me no. Right?
Well, that is cool. You could get a booth right next to each other, huh? Is that the idea?
Oh, I'll be parked there all weekend.
Right.
Yeah, nice.
But no, his setup was really cool. He had this shelf, and then like there was a diorama on each shelf for like the rooms he did, and like it was.
Oh, it looks awesome. Wow. Looks amazing.
Had it really well lit. Yeah.
And I threw that together in a couple of days. So originally I was planning on making something bigger, and then I didn't get a full booth, and then like 2 days before we were getting ready to leave, they said I did get a booth. So then I had to kind of throw it all together.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's
it turned out pretty good.
That's the beauty of those walls. I mean, that's what I usually, when I'm talking about those walls, is that if you don't have room to set up a big diorama, that's okay, because the walls that Chris have, they just break down and can go into like a little tote. Like I got, I don't think I have one over here. Yeah, like even these little guys right here, a bunch of them, you could put all your stuff in there and then get it out of the way, or leave it set up as like a thing on your shelf.
Nice. Well, let's jump to your stuff there, and then I also have your websites queued up too, so we'll go in more depth. I just figure we volley back and forth, because but all right, let's check out. So this is Matt's. Here we go. This is the Atlas, right? So what inspired this thing?
So that was probably trying to think of how many things I had made before that, but I was like, I want something big. This was actually after that conversation I had about the mobile command center. I was like, well, you got me thinking about it. What's something that's more, does the same sort of purpose, but like is more digestible, right? Like that, like I say more digestible, that's still not cheap and it's still very large. But I wanted an APC. And what's kind of funny is, I've told Mike this story like 6 or 7 times, so you can find something else to do. But when I finished the modeling for that, that's when Gridiron released their teaser for the Phalanx, right? Oh,
yeah.
And when I first started that, I was going back and forth. I was like, do I want to do something that's more realistic, like the Striker APC, or do I want to do something that's more kind of like sci-fi manga inspired, like near future? And I'm really happy I went with the direction I did, because like I literally just finished modeling it, and then they came out with like that traditional APC Striker looking thing.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, oh dang. So it's in that same size category, and it's built to be modular. I'm working on the modularity now. There's going to be, the first one's going to be an Arctic version that's coming out, so that back half is going to change up, but it's still kind of all the same frame. So like when I was making that, I wanted to make it so that it could be some other things.
Okay.
And then it still is happening, but there's 6 or 7 other projects I'm working on too for the line. So it'll come when it comes, and give you guys time to save up money.
So how long does it take to print one of those?
That one right there is my longest print. That's 125 plus or minus print hours.
Holy fuck.
Now I run 6 FDM printers. So that, like, if all of those are available, obviously that comes out faster, but there is like kind of like a 4 to 6 week lead time on one of those if you order it.
Man. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the coolest damn thing. And you know what I wish I had was the shot that I took when I put the hiss next to it. I can't express to you enough how much longer, how much wider, and how much taller it is than the hiss. It's not even close. So just to,
Yeah.
and as far as toy photography goes, it's really hard. So that's the inside of
Yeah.
the Atlas.
Something you made.
My big head, that's the size of it, right?
Oh yeah, hold on.
It's big.
Yeah.
Right.
That's without the back canopy on it.
That's
Right.
without the back on it, so it's not in shoebox mode. So
Yeah.
and then
Can you compare that? Do you have anything?
I tried to make it so that like every angle. I'm thinking toy photography every time I design these, but I try to think like every angle, you got something going on, so you can get on the inside and really get your shots of the interior. So yeah, because that'd be like pretty dark, right? You can pop. You can shine a light through there. But I do have one, so you can get in there and do that.
So good.
And I port everything so that like gridiron stuff fits on it, because really they make really good stuff. I still buy gridiron stuff. I'm not going to pretend like just buy my stuff, not gridiron. But like gridiron makes really cool stuff, so my stuff fits the gridiron stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And this one has the tire upgrade on it, so you can put actual rubber RC tires. That also saves you a little bit of money if you buy it through my shop. If I don't have to print those tires too.
That's cool.
Nice.
I'm not putting that back over there. It's heavy.
It looks so good in the green too. So I have it's black and gray with the light blue accents on the lights. But I got it like that because then I could take shots of it either in Cobra or with the Joes, and it looks, I mostly wanted it for the Night Force sub team, Strike Team Fangbuster. So the colors are great, but the green looks amazing, and I think you are going to do those in white too, right, Matt?
Yeah,
so if you didn't get Snowcat and you want something big and totally awesome, but you don't want to pay $700 for an aftermarket Snowcat, you can get yourself a nice white Atlas and you'll be happy with it.
And I hate that I have like lead times because they're all made to order, but that does offer the opportunity that like if you want it in some specific color, like I had a guy wanted navy blue and orange because he was a Cubs fan. So I made that for him.
Oh, okay.
I've had people ask for like the black, red, and gold for the Grenadiers. So it's like because I don't already have these 20 of them printed out on the shelf, they make the color, I can make it in the color.
Nice. So this is the lighting inside. Is that something you just did, Michael, or is that something?
Yeah. So I've got I can show everybody off. Like I have these. You go to Amazon and they're little lights that are about that big, right here. And you twist. That's it. Yep.
Yeah. And
twist the bottom.
And it lights up.
So you can get clear, red, blue, green, and they're all fantastic.
Ooh, that's cool.
They're accent. Like I attribute a lot of all the good accent lighting on any of my photos are because I crack those things open and then stick them all like behind something, and it just gives this afterglow that pops up out of stuff. I think you spend like $12 or $13 and you get 20 of them. But then it also comes with, there's a battery in it, and then it comes with enough to refill each one twice. So, it's the cost of having a dope picture. But that's a red one. I think if you look, if you look at where Beachhead is, and you just look down at the bottom, you can see I've got two of them right next to each other. They're actually in the shot. You just don't know. You don't know. I didn't notice that until
they fit in the design,
Yeah. No, it's the inside of that Atlas is amazing. The detail is amazing.
No,
look at
the same lights or.
So yep. Those are little accent lights all the way around. Yep. Actually, I think I might have. So one of my bigger stand. I have two lights that are about this big, and they're on stands. And I do believe I have the blue filter over one of them. So the blue is casting from the big one, but the green, because you look at the window on the Atlas, which is right on the front there's that little red is actually glowing from the inside out of where you just were on the inside there. I've got it here tasked for urban pacification. It's I've had cop police in the back of there. I can fit
with that.
Yeah, look at how awesome that's so many fingers.
It holds a few characters in it, and
Serpentor
I like that one
Lair
where you have all the alley vipers in the back of it. Like it's like some kind of Viking ship. They have their shields over the side.
Yeah.
Right.
Serpentor's Lair, which one of you is going to print the SDCC chair for the shipwreck to make that not a piece of junk?
Yeah, I actually have one that I'm probably going to release. I actually started making one like a year ago for bats, like for Mindbender or whoever.
Nice.
And it actually tilts like all the way back, but it doesn't do like the whole bend in the middle. So I think I'm going to modify it to do that. But somebody already has. I mean, somebody else already sells one. I'm not going to say who it is, but somebody else already sells one.
I'm sure
it doesn't move. You have to buy either the flat version or the bent version.
Oh,
no.
Come on, we want
Dave. Welcome, Dave. Great video, Dave. Put out.
Suburb.
So all right. There was another question about opportunity for the 3D printers. What is an impossible dream thing like you to make? You want to do, but you don't think it's just too much. You probably won't do it.
I don't think anything is impossible to make. I think it's just the time to do it.
It's time, yeah. Like me and Chris have had this conversation where it's like we don't get to make stuff for us anymore.
Yeah,
yeah.
But like, I mean, if I'm just saying like GI Joe, like the flying Cobra base would be cool. You know,
Sky Serpent.
Yeah.
Mothership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know like who was it that was it Super 7 that was trying to like
Super 7 they made the big one.
Be 1/18 scale.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, even then I feel like they were like cutting parts that would be there out, you know. Like
it was $700.
It would probably be like 3 times bigger than that even at that scale. So like you know, something would be like a swimming pool in your backyard pretty much, right?
A kid's pool. How cool would that be though, man?
There's space, but that'd be a lot of plastic.
Well, there was a guy on Instagram just today. I actually DM'd him. I don't know where he lived. He was showing he has this office and he does his own kind of 3D printing. I don't think he really sells it. He just makes stuff for himself. And he made a classified scale Sky Serpent. Now, the body of it, if you remember the Sky Serpent that Super 7 had, I believe was shaped like the hood of a Cobra with the head at the front of it. So this was not. This was more straight, angular, but it was freaking as wide as my arms, which is about 6 foot, and then kind of flat and pointed. But the head was right here, and it showed him. He was standing next to it. It had his arm on it like this, and what he said in the poster, he said, "Come get this. I don't want to have to throw it away. I need room. Please, it's free to anybody that'll come take it, save it from the dumpster." I messaged him. I never heard back. There was only 22 comments, so I was like, maybe there's a chance. You know, you have to live near the guy. So if there's a chance, if he was within 5 hours, I would try to go get it.
I'm trying to find it. I just want to see pictures of it.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, let me know. I can call it up here too.
Yeah, I'd love to build the Terradrome. I think
he called it the Sky Serpent. I don't know if that helps in the search. He definitely called it the Sky Serpent. That's what made me think of it.
Somebody's definitely done the Terradrome, right? I feel like.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people do it. I don't. But they make. See, this is my problem with what a lot of people do. They make it just like the 3 3/4 version that was released. And I don't want a 3 3. I want a classified version of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of these 3D printed things are just copies of the original versions, which weren't realistic looking. I want something. If I'm going to make something that big, I want it to be realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point.
Right.
It's definitely going to have like my spin on it if I'm putting that kind of time in it, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So this I had looked for that earlier, and I don't see it. Okay. So there's some cool. All right. Here's some cool stuff here. Look. Somebody made this guy.
Oh, nice.
The Viper.
Kind of fun. 3.75 inch. That's kind of fun. All right. Well, let's look at let's look at some of your stuff here. Let's see. We got. Okay. We can walk you through one of your channels. Let's see. Bear with me for a second. Okay, so all right. Here's your stuff, Chris. I don't know if you want to talk me through it or what do you got here?
Sure. Yeah, like so some of the early things I made was that that crate there, the scrap iron missile crates. That was one of the things I spent a lot of time when I recreated the missiles. They actually come apart, but the original ones don't, so you can actually disassemble them.
Cool.
Yeah, and like figuring out how to get them into the crate, and I actually built. So this is probably like the 4th or 5th iteration of it before I finally nailed down how I liked it. Because originally, like I had this rack that had a handle on it with the missiles would actually go into the rack, and then you handle down into the crate, and I think that was before I made them where they came apart. But yeah, and then like the chemical thing, like it's like a lot of this comes from. So that second item there is like the chemical cylinders, and it all originates from wanting to take a picture of something. So like I wanted to take a picture of like Destro giving a mission to the Dreadnoks, and he had to have. I wanted him to hand something, and I wanted it to be like the lighting and to make it stand out in the picture as a focal point. And that's kind of where that worked out with the purple filament and the green filament. And really, I mean, really, that's how a lot of this stuff starts. It's a picture I want to take, and I end up, having to create something to take that picture, or customer ideas. I get a lot of customer requests too of ideas. Just like Matt was saying, people will come to me and say, "Hey, man, it'd be great if I could take a picture of this or get this for my thing." And that's where a lot of the ideas kind of they plant a seed. They don't necessarily make exactly what they're requesting a lot of times, but it plants the seed of making something else. That's like that corner piece there, right above the locker. That's a new thing I released a couple weeks ago, and that was a request from somebody. He says, "Hey, I have your lockers. I would love to make a corner."
Oh yeah, okay.
So,
nice.
That's where that came from.
The stuff that I really like about Chris's things is like my memory of watching those toy commercials when I was little was not so much the toy that was in the commercial, it was like where they were playing with them. And I was like, why don't they sell that stuff, right? Like, and that's this stuff. It's like, it's
right, yeah. Nice.
But it's funny, like Gridiron, like during, what the hell is it called? The G.I. Joe month. I can't think of it. Yo-Jo June. Released all that world building stuff, which they hadn't really done a whole lot of before. They released a lot of stuff. Like they released the barriers the week before I was planning to do it. They released a bunch of other things like cones and so I think other people are starting to get into that too, is the whole world building. There's a market for that, and there are more and more people getting into photography.
Yeah. We had some questions here. Trying your hands at printing figures. Yeah, like you can you print figures? I think you can. Yeah, does it work? Is it any good?
Probably have to do with the resin printer. FDM is not the best.
They're getting closer, man. Like it's impressive. Like especially some of the smaller nozzles. I haven't personally played with it too much, but like the stuff I've seen them do with those 0.02 nozzles, like they're doing like the Warhammer miniatures with those, and like they look pretty close. Like it's not there yet, but it's close. There's a guy, and it's the guy that Roadblock's using as his designer, the zip tie guy. He's got a YouTube channel, and he has some that are designed for FDM printers. So they're bigger, but like the joints are handled with a zip tie, and like they're really impressive. Now resin is going to be better. I would agree. Resin's going to be better, aside from making your own mold. But I mean, like you're looking at big money when you're doing molds.
Is resin too fragile for figures?
No, like again, it's like and I'm not an expert on it because again, I've only got like 6 months kind of under my belt on a resin printer, but it comes down to the type of resin you pick. So not all resins are the same.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But like there are some out there that literally you could put in, a mechanical engine and it's going to hold up. Like now that's not something you make a toy out of, but it exists, right?
Right.
So just for example here, this is a ammo can from Top Fun Toys. This is printed with resin, and it is as tough as you can get. I mean, this thing is.
Yeah. Well, I think with figures, you need something that's kind of tough but pliable, right? That's the tricky part.
And that's where like people kind of start mixing their own, right? Because they take on properties, but then that kind of gets back to like the way FDM printers used to be, where it's like the hobby itself was getting the printer to work, you know. So there are some people out there who's just trying to like make this cool resin that has these cool properties, and like how much exposure do you give it and all this mess. I'm still on kind of the side where I just want to plug it in and tell it to make this thing, and for the most part it does it, you know, because I need it to come out right. Like most FDM printers now that you buy, you plug it in, and you might want to tweak the settings, but when it comes with standard, is going to give you a functional print, unless you just ask it to do something really absurd. You know?
Right. Okay.
Mark, I just sent you that Instagram post, the link to it with the Sky Serpent.
Sky Serpent.
Okay.
If I don't know if I can send it to a different spot, I just sent it to the Twitter link. It's crazy looking.
I really want. I don't know if anybody's ever said this before, but I want to say it. I would like to welcome the viewing audience to this edition of Between Two Destros.
Yeah.
Now that I'm actually between both of you, I just had to say it.
That's funny. That is funny.
3D printing edition.
Right.
3D printing. Nice. Yeah, I actually just got a bunch of different stuff from both of these guys.
Let me see if I can. I'll share that. Screen share.
Chris, I opened up your stuff just before we came on the air. Perfect, brother, as always.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Look at the size of that thing.
That's crazy. Like that's divorce scale, man.
That's divorce scale.
I mean, that is a kitchen table, right? Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Say, if you do the USS flag, you got to make it like a bed.
Is that Joe Fest?
You know,
I couldn't.
That is Joe Fest.
Yeah,
I thought it might
see that there.
You know,
this was up in the office.
You got one of those, you know, those beds that like it flips over. It's like
Murphy bed.
It's the USS flag, and then you flip it over, and it's a bed, and you'll never have sex again. But
that's Joe Fest, or at least the Augusta Convention Center.
That's amazing, dude.
That thing is crazy looking, isn't it?
So I guess further part of that question, I just kind of ignored, like figure parts, like absolutely that'll come before a figure, but that is definitely on the to-do list. And kind of already started with that, with the mags line stuff. But
oh, dude, I tell you, so the shield is, you delivered on this so hard with the way that everything fits in there, and you've got the secondary in it, the size, the shape. This is muy bueno. But also too, from the mags line. Now, of course, all the stuff is great, but the slings. The slings are such a, for toy photography, forget it, because so many times.
Let me call those up because we could.
Yeah, people have been liking the slings. I've been making
slings are so awesome, bro. And I just used the binoculars in that the thing that I did the other day with the Trench Viper, and the way that they sit. You know, if the guys hold them like this, the cord comes down and then goes around their neck. It's not just like straight wrapped around the head. You know what I mean? But yeah, no.
You got T-shirts too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are really hard to print.
Yeah, that's totally different.
There's resin. There's filament for that though, where people will put a shirt out and they'll print it straight on it. There's settings for that.
Interesting.
Yeah, the shirts originated from some pictures I took. Just a lot of people like those pictures, so I ended up putting them on a shirt to see how.
The scrap iron one you sent me, brother, is so awesome. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
Those stands actually fit the figure's feet. Unlike every other stand I buy, they suck.
Here's one right here.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I do it. So I made them. I mean, there's some on Amazon like this too, but I liked it. I didn't like having the rectangle. I like it so you can put one on each foot and have them walk in a walking pose. You can put it on one foot,
right,
and have them in a walking pose, or I don't know. It just makes it's a lot more flexible,
more dynamic than standing there, right? Yeah.
Can you get that shield in Alley Viper colors? Is the question.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're made like, so the mag stuff I do keep like a stock of to push out quick, but if you wanted a different color, we can do a different color. That's absolutely possible.
God, I didn't even think of that.
That's shocking. Nice. Let's see. Chris, anything else you want to talk us through, or I'll
I mean, really, like I get a lot of requests for custom walls. So like it's pretty crazy. Like I have people that order, like, I don't even. This one person ordered like 100 walls, and I can't print like more. Like they're big. They're just big enough that I can only print one at a time.
Mhm.
So it's really annoying.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't you. But 100 walls. I mean, you can imagine. Like, I got to print them 100 times, and they take.
And they're not all going to work. Like there's going to be some that you got to redo something on.
Yeah, they don't always come out perfect. Like I probably have like 40 that have different like lines or imperfections that I didn't want to give to people. I'm probably going to post them and say half price or something. Like.
Well, you know where you hit me up. We will work out a deal.
They end up in a box and they go to Mike. Is what?
Right.
But like the walls, like I get a lot of custom requests for that, like special doors, or like I would like to have a background that does this, or like really like I'm actually doing this now for myself. I'm making the walls fit perfectly in the shelving system.
Mm.
A lot of people buy like those, I think it's the Detloff shelves from IKEA, the glass shelves, and so they want them to fit perfectly in that square glass cube. So I do a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah, I think the walls and floors and all that is such an interesting idea, because for all my brethren that really want to take shots, but they're like, yeah, but then it's my table, and I can't make a background, and I don't want to use AI, and it's like, well, Chris has got you get some floors, you get some walls, it's freaking right there for you.
And there's some of those character crates what Mike was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I found is I met Chris first, and the first thing that I saw was the scrap iron crate, where it's got this right here. So you take the top level out, right? But the super cool part about this is that it's got these pieces in the corner where the tray will sit up. So I've got all of actually down here. You take these out, and then you just put for anybody that doesn't know, you take your scrap iron. This is so dusty, that's embarrassing. You take these the two missiles out. They go right into the bottom crate, easy breezy. That part drops back in there, and then now, scrap iron, who's fired off his missiles. Now what is he going to do? Well, now he's got this Merchant of Death.
Let's see.
Wow, the dust is. So there we go.
Oh wow, okay, that's cool.
And then the playability, like one of the first big photo shoots I did was with this. I had a bunch of bats deliver this. They took the missiles out. They put the missiles, because the missiles that you take out can go in this crate, and they slide to the bottom, right? And then you can take these back out again if you want. They go back in the tray. Now, when I saw this, I saw it on Etsy, and I was so excited that I didn't even go to his page to see what else he made. I literally just ordered it as fast as I could possibly click the buttons. And then afterwards, sensibility came back, and I was like, oh, he's got to make more stuff. So I went back, and he's got the Firefly mission crate. So this,
nice.
So all the stuff from the Firefly number 84. And then now, because there's that extra space on the bottom that's provided by the little things in the corner, I've got the number 20, 21, I think? Number 21's backpack and his little drone, and all that fits right in there. But look at it, it's got his night vision, the whole thing, everything fits in there. And Chris's stuff is super accurate, super tight. That's one of the things, like if you order stuff from him and you get it, the first thing you're going to know is you're going to be like, oh, this is official. This stuff is super like so on the money. Like those trays slide right in with there's no play, but they go in and out super easy. So yeah, those were the first two things I got, and then it's just been an onslaught.
Yeah, I get a lot of requests to continue making those. It's just that I don't know. They're just so expensive that I don't. Because they're like, I think they're between $30 and $40 for each one, because there's so many parts to it. You have the crate, you have the lid, you have the trays, you have the inserts or the foam parts of it.
Right.
So all that adds, because this is one of the things. Like I ended up at one point I was defending Matt's prices with somebody because they were like, "Why does he charge so much?" Well, it's because of this. For each part you got to print it. It takes time. Like how many of them can you fit onto a plate in the printer?
Right. Right.
It's one of those things like I wish I could sell these things for like the cost of injection molding, right?
Yeah.
Like just so everybody can get them, right? It's just you can't. Not there. It's not there yet.
I 3D printed one thing. Literally, the very first thing I printed was one of the so that what I was showing earlier, the lockers from Chris, and it wasn't even. I just simply printed, not the insert, but just the oh, did I glue that in there? I think I glued it in there. Just this outside part right here, just this, and obviously this is resin, so I had to clean it and do stuff like that. I printed one thing and immediately said, "Oh, I completely understand the prices of all this stuff," because this one little thing took hours to print, and then then I had to get in there, I had to clean it and everything, and I was like, "Oh, it's not like, they're not just punching some stuff into the computers and then magically comes out the other end." There's a lot involved. I think anybody that has ever done one of their own prints kind of immediately goes, "Oh yeah, that's why this stuff costs what it costs," because
Well, another surprising thing too, like you were talking about that armory rack there, that the actual rifle rack it actually takes a long time to print because of all, like here for example all the little peg holes in these, because the printer has to go zoop, zoop, zoop.
Around. And
if it was one solid piece, it would take like half the time to print this, but because there's so much detail with the peg holes and other things, it takes so much longer for the printer to print it.
Yeah, like the FDM printers have kind of hit like the max like usability of the existing material, like PLA, right? Because there's only so fast you can go where you're squeezing molten plastic for it to land where you want it to land. So until they change the material, and there's some that are out there, but PLA is still by far like the main material to use. Like they've kind of hit like the head on that as fast as you can print that out and it still look good, And even with that, and I'm sure Chris, you do this too, but I back my speeds back down.
Oh yeah. I mean, so like to get the smooth finish on this, like you have to slow down the speeds on it, or else you're going to be able to see all the layer lines and individual
texture.
And you can tell, like if you go look at some of the other sites, like if they're pictures, like I would not sell some of the other sites stuff because of how much you can see the lines and the flaws.
And it's just kind of like balance act you got to do too. It's like, I could make this absolutely perfect, but are you going to pay me $100 for something this big? It's like, so it's what's the acceptable amount?
There's a lot of those little details that you just, if you've never done a 3D print before, you don't know. I've bought stuff from a bunch of different places. Like before I ran into Matt and Chris, I had gotten something from here, something from there. There is a drastic difference in when you look at their product compared to other people's, just like exactly what Chris is talking about with just these areas of smoothness, the quality when you hold it, and like in a vehicle from Matt. I've seen people out there that have printed all kinds of vehicles and but it looks almost like a Minecraft screen, right? It's blocky and not very detailed or curvy, and I'm not knocking it at all. It's like, hey, that's cool. I know what that is. But when I hold something from that, it looks more like a vehicle, right? I mean, I would say Gridiron is obviously very good, but when it comes to like quality, I don't think there's anybody that's as good as you guys, but that's because you take that time to make it right. So if your stuff takes a minute to get there, which Chris's stuff comes super quick, and Matt's got vehicles, so they take the time they take. But yeah, there's a big difference in quality.
And I guess this is a technical tidbit for anybody that's looking to get into it. Like you've got to kind of, especially if you're doing FDM where the layers are thicker than on resin, you want to treat those layer lines like you would like grain and wood. Right. So anytime you have something joining, you want them like perpendicular to each other, not parallel, because that's when you're going to get a split from the grain in the plastic.
Okay. Right?
Yeah. So orientation in printing too is like that's almost just as important,
Nice. So I put links so I had a request for a link. I put links in for both of your sites. So Matt, you want to talk us through what you have here, and then we'll.
Sure. So I'm still just on Etsy. At some point I want a fancy website like Chris's. I'm jealous of that. But Etsy handles me pretty well here and keeps the orders at a doable level. So I kind of sort of three categories, right? So I've got vehicles, I've got play sets for your dioramas, and then I've got the mags line, which is sort of like independent to the individual figure, right? So like accessories for the figure. I'm trying to target things that there's not already a plethora of, and also things that aren't going to get me kicked off of Etsy, because that's my only avenue currently, right? So what I mean by that,
they warned me about some grenades.
Chris got his hand slapped, but there's an algorithm that goes through there that searches for words. So, you know, if I wanted to do like, you know, firearms like gridiron, even with the people that are already on Etsy doing it, they're getting tagged because they look very realistic. The AI picks up on that, and then the verbiage in the title, right, catches it. So even though I have like that 50 cal on the outpost there, because I'm not mentioning that in the title, like it's kind of okay, but I would love to just sell you some of those things, and the platforms are holding me back. So that all kind of coming too, I guess, is a roundabout way of getting to say that. But currently right now, it's all the stuff that's like the tablets that's down there, Mainframe's hand. You know, that's pretty like site safe, and just additional accessories that if you don't, I want to fit your budget, right? You can get like 3 of those tablets for it's like $12, like that, versus, you know, a $300 vehicle. And I've got another vehicle that's coming out here very, very soon, that is not as expensive as the Atlas, and it's another ground vehicle. I had one previous, I'll go grab it, but it was just too out of scale once like Classified actually started producing vehicles. That was sort of like a variant of the Striker, the All Striker. So that got pulled, so I had to replace that. So I got a new ground vehicle coming out very soon that there's going to be multiple models of to kind of, again, fit the budget, because I know like purse strings are tighter for everybody now than when we first started this. So again, kind of going through it there, the play sets are modular and they all connect together. So like the outpost and the bar and the DOA and the Skyhammer, those are all down in there too. They're all able to connect together, or you can take parts of it off of each other and stick them with each other. There's some sense of that's coming out. I have color variations on those now, with the UV printer that we've both added to our repertoire. So like, as you can see, this has like the chocolate chip pattern on it on the bar. So
awesome.
Again, like with all the other custom stuff, because it's made to order, if you have a camo swatch, I do have like a size that I need for it. I can print that camo swatch, or I guess whatever kind of pattern you would want on it. If you want a leopard skin pattern bar to go with your, you know, Pimp Daddy Destro, you can do that.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah.
So, like,
nice.
So again, that's to order. So it's completely customizable. The Oracle
is very cool. Yeah, I like that one.
I don't have one sitting here with me. But that lights up. It's really hard to take pictures of because it lights up, because it balloons out. But if it's sitting there with you, it looks really nice, very clean. So I have a laser engraver that you can do the screens on that. There's 3 options for screens currently, and there'll be more of those added because somebody, I guess, put the bug out on those, and I've had a lot of people ordering the Oracles recently.
It's crazy how that works. Like I won't sell anything for a while, and then all of a sudden I sell 20 of something.
I want to know what the secret sauce is there, right? Like, is it a Reddit post? Because I'll start posting on Reddit. That's fine. You know, it's like, what is it?
Nice. Very cool. Talk through the Shadowhawk.
Yeah. Oh, I've got one right here.
Nice.
And there's a run on these guys too. I don't have one yet, but it's a big boy.
We got awesome.
Like I made it to hold, you know, the 2 pilot seats and then 2 people in the back, but I've seen people cram like a lot of figures on this. These guys work, and they pull up. There's an O-ring in there that like holds it, so it can support a figure hanging off of this. It's not going to like pull all the way down wherever you put it up. It does have some like notches in the back right there, and there's a little hidden one up front here for you to put a zip tie through. So if you did want to hang up, because I know, you know, space is a premium.
Oh, nice.
This can't be suspended. Just anytime you suspend anything that's 3D printed or just plastic in general, like use a zip tie between the connections, because that fishing line will cut through the plastic over time with it swaying even so slightly. So the zip tie kind of saves that. You can check the zip ties faster than this falling on the floor. I had a guy, he has requested one of these, some changes on the front, but a lot longer, more kind of, I guess, true to scale to an actual helicopter. I'm thinking, and I need to check in with him because it's been a minute, but it looks a little absurd on this, but that's kind of given me an idea for another helicopter that's been added to the list, but we got to get these other vehicles out first.
You can make Airwolf. Make Airwolf.
Make Airwolf.
Yeah.
I think isn't
Ramen toys.
Yeah, ramen, but it's 3 3/4 though.
Oh, it's doing okay.
Oh shit.
Yes, right. And this is probably the second longest thing. This is probably about like 95 hours. So again, you're looking at 3 or 4 weeks before you get it. I just did one in black, red, and gold, and it had like the Cobra logo right here, and it turned out really nice. I like it when people come in with like kind of like a color request, because I like these, but after about the 12th one of these I've printed in gray. Something else, you know.
Just a suggestion. I really think you should start posting those on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, like these custom color ones, like it'll spark other people's ideas and maybe get you some additional orders.
You're not wrong.
We got a question here.
I'm real bad about taking a picture though. Yeah. Like I'm so bad about it. Like I'm like, I gotta get it in the box and get it out to them, and I just don't want to take a picture.
What do you use to design in Blender, Daz, whatever?
I use Blender.
Blender, okay.
I use Plasticity 3D. That has a connection. It has like a Blender bridge with it that I haven't played with yet. So I need to learn more about Blender, and I would add that to it too, just for textures and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, one of the things I like to do with when I'm creating stuff, like I actually put lighting and stuff on it as well in Blender, because like movie studios use Blender and you can do computer animation and things with it. So I actually kind of do
Blender is like
actually have it generate with lighting and everything.
There's a lot you can do with Blender. Like the reason I went with Plasticity, there's some pricing things that I went with. Blender's free, but like compared to like Fusion 360 or like ZBrush and that other stuff, there's like the pricing is better on Plasticity, but it's also like not very resource heavy because it's just modeling, right? The rendering part in it sucks. That's why I want to get better. I might be hitting up Chris on how to use Blender better. Like, it's a like I have a really crappy old laptop that I take with me when I'm traveling, and I can still work on stuff in Plasticity because it's just so resource light.
Out of the realm of possibility to 3D print a classified demon? Nah, I wouldn't see why.
No, there's a guy that already does it. Pixis Designs has one.
Let's check.
It's not bad either. It's pretty decent.
Good. And no kidding, like when I first started looking into like when I was like, I want to make some G.I. Joe vehicles for my kid. It was just before I admitted that I wanted to play with G.I. Joe again too. I found a forum and I think his name is Greg. He wasn't posting as Pixis Designs, but he was commenting on like a Rolling Thunder he made, and like somebody was like complaining about like the price of it, and he was like, "Well, then you do it." And I was like, "Okay, I'll try to do it." And then I learned real quick like what all that was. But so that's
he actually makes that scaffold and it goes around the snake armor. That's really cool.
Yeah, like it's kind of like the Fallout kind of inspired. Like his whole scaffolding thing is really cool too. I think he's trying to get out of like the vehicles and do more of that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of people on vehicles though.
Yeah, this is one of them I found. Any Rowdy Toys? I think he had a display, and
he was at Joe Fest.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So
and he does like real good, like 1-to-1, like pretty much of the original Joe vehicle. Like on a class.
I love these Tri-Fighters, man. These are great.
Yeah.
The little like that's fucking hilarious.
That is like crazy.
Yeah.
And the machine looks all right.
We're almost gonna need that because the one they came out with is,
Yeah. Hopefully they come back correct.
Yeah, that's some goofy shit,
I still think that thing's on a striker body.
See, like the Thunder machine, I think they should have like updated it and made like the front end like a Challenger or a Charger or something like that instead of a.
Like if you're gonna change it, change it. Like
yeah.
Well, I feel like didn't they show somebody they dropped like a panel from one of the newer comic books where it actually showed that front that the render that they gave us. There's precedent for it in one of the comic books. Doesn't make it any cooler looking, but
it just looks way too small. The front end looks way too small compared to the
it definitely does. And having that chicken bird, like it did when we were kids. That's really what I was looking for.
Depending on how it's attached, like I don't hate when they do that because it gives like us an opportunity to make an upgrade. So like the striker roll cage like sucks, and I'm sure it wasn't the design. I'm pretty sure it was probably a bean counter changing the plastics from what the designer designed it for. But anyways, like the cage doesn't stay on, but that gave me an opportunity to make a thing that makes it stay on.
Oh yeah, nice.
So I can't complain too much, but it would be nice if they just made it right.
Right.
That thing is bad, man. That thing falls apart all the time. It's like,
well, we can fix it, easy.
But yeah, this guy's got some. He's basically trying to make just about. He's got a lot of shit. But
he's the guy that made the flag.
He made the flag.
He got a flag.
He was the first person I saw that made the.
That was kind of like his I'm here, look at me on Etsy now thing. It's one of his flagship was the flag, right?
Here we go.
Really
cool. This is the flag.
He's got a YouTube video where it's like out in his living room. And it's funny because he tried to use this like big screen TV to like make it look like the ocean's behind it, but it's not big enough because the flag.
It's not even close.
Right? It's like,
not even close.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that I didn't know that was the same guy. Yeah, I've seen that video where it's one.
How big is it?
14
feet. 12 feet or 14 feet, something like that. Yeah.
It goes through his living room into the foyer and like practically into the dining room, and you're just like, "What the fuck?"
It's massive. Yeah. Obviously he will make it for you, but it costs a lot of money, so he sells the files for it if you want to do it.
Right.
What the hell would that be a thing? $3,000 probably, at least.
Easily for him to make it because he's also I met him briefly and I've just heard him speak to others, but he does seem to like be a real big perfectionist on like he won't put anything out that's got a little imperfection on it. He tosses that piece and reprints it completely.
That's good to know.
I can appreciate that. I made my name doing what I do for my business by my the motto has always been overbuilt is underrated. Just like I always make sure that everything is better than you would expect it to be, and it goes a long way. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I know somebody that's printed multiple things from him and nothing but good reviews on the files. And then he actually has like detailed instructions. It's like a Lego guide, the Lego instructions, how to put it together and everything.
Yeah, and you would think you would need that, right? I mean, how many pieces would that flag be? A lot.
I wouldn't want to field phone calls for putting that flag together, right? Like I'd make sure that instruction manual was really good,
Well, realistically, like how big pieces could he print? Can you expect somebody to print at a time? Because like I know I have a resin printer that it doesn't have a big build area, and I knew that, right? I wanted to print weapons and things that were smaller with great detail, so that's why CG Horror hooked me up with this one. But like even if you were printing, say, the flag, what's the biggest like piece that you could make at one time?
So that's the thing is him making that. He can't size it for the biggest printer out there. He's got to go for the average standard bed size, right? Because you're going to buy those files from him. He doesn't know what kind of printer you have.
Right.
So he's not even maximizing.
I was probably maximum 10 by 10, 10 by 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So then
how many hours do you think that takes to print that thing?
That when he first launched that, I was trying to even just guess how many spools of filament you would need, right? Like, let alone the hours, right? Because you could print it fast and it look like crap, but to do it right, I mean, that's.
Somebody printed it and posted how much filament it took. I'm gonna see if I can find that.
I want to say it was like 25, 24 rolls or something like that, but I could be like way off.
Jesus Christ.
And what off the top of your head, what do you think that translates to money-wise? Just trying to come up with an idea of you spend X on the file, but then you have to buy the stuff.
You're going cheapest filament out there. Let's just say you go for like the cheapest stuff, right? Like, I don't know of anybody that can get you filament under $11 a spool. Now the nicer stuff that's got like actual color in it can be as much as like $25-$30 a spool.
Wow. So there's a variance.
There's a variance there, yeah.
Damn. Yeah, so that would be cool. And I did see, so there is a guy, it turns out he grew up right across the river from me. Him and his buddy, his buddy is this is how I met the guy. His buddy is a drummer in one of the local bands that I know and have loved growing up. And we started chatting about that. And he was like, no, I'm from blah, blah, blah. And I was like, get the hell out of here. And Plastic Fantastic is his name on Instagram. And he printed a Terradrome, but it definitely is a step above whatever you've seen elsewhere, right? Like I've seen the ones where that little dome in the middle, like the pieces like barely move to get the fire bat out. His, like, it looks smooth as hell. It fully retracts and the fire bat comes out and it looks pretty good. So that's pretty sweet to have. And he did it basically like a classic style. I think he put these blue trays. So like, you know how there's the gun ports on the Terradrome up around the top. He also put these little pieces around that you could land a trouble bubble on, which I thought was incredible.
Right.
Yeah, that one looks pretty good.
So that's crazy though.
Like something that big, I'm kind of looking at the comments through here. Like I would be tempted to print that just like as fast as possible with the cheapest filament I could find, and then be willing to sand it and paint it, because it isn't one, like you're not making a bunch of them, right?
Right.
You could take the time and like paint on that and make it look really nice.
Yeah. Lady Jessica Dark says you got the 84 HQ. There you go. That must have been awesome.
That would be cool.
I'm sure there's a few people doing that, right? We're gonna be able to find that here.
I tell you, I'm on the verge of, if I get the right deal, of getting something along those lines, because I do have, you know, the 3 3/4 figures that I've bought since I started collecting again. I've bought, you know, I got about 15 or 20 of them complete that, you know, I wouldn't mind displaying. And if there's one thing that I did, like, as much as I wanted the aircraft carrier, I don't think I'd buy that right now unless I was building an edition. You know, I'm talking about even the 3 3/4 one. I don't think I'd get that.
I don't even have room for that one. I have it, but I don't have room for it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. One of the things that I wouldn't mind getting is the headquarters. Now, I never had the headquarters.
Oh, we got
frozen.
But yeah, so there's the headquarters here. I guess this is just the files, but that's pretty badass. Yeah,
and
like that.
You know, kudos for Chris for being brave enough to put the files out there. I haven't crossed that bridge yet, because, like, you know, once it's out there, right?
Like this is designed after the headquarters, so like I took a lot of design elements from the headquarters to like the columns in it. It also has these panels on the bottom. It has the style inset panel on the bottom. So I took a lot of elements from this on this headquarter wall.
Cool. So, nice.
Oh, wow, that looks fantastic, dude. Holy hell.
That's really nice.
I even made up my own outlets for it.
No shit. Look at that. See, man, that's that little bit of detail that sends it through the roof.
Panel right there.
Yeah, actually, I have this on my training drone as well, so you can actually make a little thing that goes from this to the training drone.
Oh my god!
Did you size it so it can fit the tubing like that you can buy, that rubber tubing that smells so bad?
One of my customers made one, so I made the little end pieces. He requested it, so I made the end pieces that go into the socket, and then he bought some kind of tubing and put in between it.
I don't have any sitting here because, honestly, God, it smells horrible, so I don't keep it next to me much.
Yeah.
But there's tubing I use for some of my stuff, and it'd be really cool if it fits in that hole.
We got Destro freezing on us again here.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's doing this.
That never happens, right? Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
There's the same sockets there. Yeah.
Oh, what is that? Like a training droid?
Yeah. The little barrels just flew off.
That's awesome.
I was just about to comment, that spins so smooth. Wow.
Yeah, that's great. How do you get it so precise? How difficult is it to get so precise?
Well, I didn't glue this one together, but
yeah.
It's trial and error, really. I mean, like, I don't know.
Like, the machine matters too. Yeah. Like that. So buy good equipment. And I think we both use bamboo. Do you have anything other than bamboo, Chris?
Nope, I kind of stuck with that. Just
and I got a couple of the newer like H2 machines, and those have so many cameras on them. You can buy a build plate if you're really into like engineering prototyping stuff. Like you can buy a build plate for that calibrates those cameras like really well, and then it does its thing, and you can make them really smooth. I don't go that far. And again, I guess another tidbit, anybody printing out there, like if you want it to be a tight fit, take 1 layer height's worth away. If you want it to be smoother, take one more nozzle size version of that. So if you're printing at 0.16 millimeter layer height, take one of those off. Because a lot of them come standard at 20, reset that to 1.6 or 0.16 millimeters, and you'll like that better. And if your nozzle is a 0.4 nozzle, which is the standard, that's the increment you keep reducing to open up that gap. Nice. And it took me a long time to figure that out, so that's why I'm telling everybody this.
Nice. That's a good tip. That's a good tip.
Yeah. Let's see. Does anybody have anything you want me to call up? Otherwise, we'll go into. I guess we're coming up at 2 hours, so we can call it a night. But last couple things I want to talk about is, so if anybody has anything you want me to call up, call that out, and then anybody will like any request, anything in the chat you wish somebody would 3D print. I'll give you mine. I want a brainwave scanner, but like comic book accurate, so bad, and they don't. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen one. I've seen like lame ones, but I don't know. That would be pretty badass.
So I have several Dr. Mindbender theme things in the works. It's just like, the thing is, like Matt said earlier, like this isn't my full-time job, like the 3D printing part of it. And most of my spare time now is used filling orders. So like I get started on stuff in my spare time, and I get a bunch of orders, and then it gets put on hold. And then something else will come up, and then like I just forget about that and build something new, like
right.
So like
I have so many files that are like 70% done.
Yeah. So I have like 20 things that are partially done. And then like earlier this year, like there was like, I was doing something for like a garage, and then like, I was like, well, I have a bunch of that stuff like partially done. I'm just going to go knock them all out and release them all. Like I did cones and barriers and the bollards, and there's several things related to a garage that I released. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean, like, this is my full-time job, and I don't have.
So let me see if I can make a brainwave scanner as part of my Dr. Mindbender lab.
Yeah. We got a bat factory conveyor belts. That's
that's
an
cool
idea. Weather Dominator, of course. That would be huge. Somebody's has to have made that, right?
The Weather Dominator. I did see. Well, there you go. There's something else I started. So it never. I have the main console and the side console done, just not the rest of it.
It would be way too big. It would be so.
Yeah. So I was going to sell it. Kind of like they did with that thing that came with that shipwreck Comic-Con version. Like just sell the front end part of it where it has because it actually has like the console, and then it has the thing for the 3 elements, and then like a control panel behind it. And I was going to sell just that, and if you wanted the rest of it, you could buy that and attach it on.
Right. Like,
That was the idea. So you could either have
that idea is come up a bunch of times for like the Terradrome, right? Like if you made a HasLabs in like quarters, right? And you get what you wanted.
Yeah.
Right. For sure.
Well,
yeah, you guys have both done some really crazy detailed stuff. I showed this off before. Matt made this with my stuff on it, and I actually just got this from Chris today. So it is a accurate sheetrock bucket, basically, handle, lid, the whole thing. And if you look what it says, it's got the orange. I should break it as I drop it. The orange around the edge says Destro Designs on it. The orange around the edge is Destro Designs, and then it's got the Viper Den Studios logo in the middle. That is so freaking cool. And open it up on the inside, and he sent me a Looks like that would be about an inch and a quarter ratchet. Super cool. A lot of detail on that. Yeah, I gotta.
I don't sell that. I just made it for a picture. But I might start shooting it with the tool chest or something.
Dude, that would be awesome to come with the tool chest. I got
planes. That'd be
barriers.
Cool. That's why you need to get into resin, Chris, because you could. Yeah. That's batch printing little things like that. That's where that shines.
Look at this bad boy.
Nice.
Little Mars Industries. Perfect little deal. Absolutely love it. I got some of the medical stuff today too. Look at that. That is crazy detailed.
Oh yeah.
That is so great. I also got the let's see, some other medical stuff. I got the spine board, which this looks pretty cool too.
Oh yeah.
It's got the Sys logo. That'll look good with Lifeline. And then I got so this is the insert. So I have a big red case that this will slip into. And the cool part is, again, because I just love playing with the stuff, is so like the bandage part comes out, and then there's tape over this because these come out too. So it's like legit awesome.
Like that is, I'm so impressed with that bottle.
Pallets, so you can stack crates and stuff on mission crates on it.
Well, those large mission crates aren't. Yeah, that's what they're designed for. Is those.
So, I mean, that just looks amazing. And Chris he sent me some of these straps, so I'll be able to make a scene where I'm strapping,
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really, really awesome stuff for sure. And, thank you, Chris.
You had some of those already, because I know we talked about them a while ago.
I honestly thought I did too. And then when I started looking last week, I was like, oh no, I keep telling myself that I had them. So I've got a couple different doors. And these are perfect, so they're compatible with his wall system all the way around, so you can sneak the doorways in. But this is for stuff I put just if I'm doing a dio, boom, you just slide this, slap it right up against the wall, and it looks like you got a door. If I cut open the back, I can have somebody looking through there. It's little things like this that you slap into a diorama, and it gives it like such a different feel. Like, it looks so much better than I'm very good at grabbing little parts pieces and making them into dio stuff, but nothing looks as good as when I actually do that. So, but yeah, this even my kids. So here's the thing, both Matt and Chris's stuff, they like their stuff more than they like the actual G.I. Joes. So like when I was showing them that like this thing, they both were like, ooh, look at the detail. Let me see that. And they love the intricacy of it. And the same thing, even this wasn't even the case. And they're like, wait, those pieces come out? Let me see. So I'm taking them out. And that's, I'll always thank you for giving me that with the kids, that they think, even, when I showed them this cup, they were like, that's got your name on it. Like, I was like, that's right. So, and these are dope too. So this is two separate ones that you could stagger or do however at like a checkpoint. You can do it however you want it, or they snack together. I mean, I made those foam ones, which I think look fine, but once you get something like this, you're like, oh no, this is amazing. This looks absolutely ridiculous. So, another great package from Chris. Thank you. And Matt sent me all that wonderful stuff. I actually got. So this was hold on a second. This is from Matt. This is the back of a tablet. This is the front. This was a Joe Fest exclusive. It actually has the Atlas on it. I don't know if you can actually see how well you can see it.
That's wow.
We saw the slings actually, and then these binoculars. Now, ever since that, anytime you get a figure, actually, I got a guy right here. So
that's a good idea. Dreadnought, Swamp, Shack.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
So here's how a lot of these look, right? When you put the binoculars up, they're just like, that doesn't look natural. But with Matt's, they've got this fabric kind of string, right? It's a dope pair of binoculars, but it actually has something when you put it on a figure. It has like, see how that lays? It just looks right. Mm-hmm. And if you hold it, it'll take me a quick second to put it onto his face, I think.
Just a little tip I've figured out with like fabric stuff for figures. If you soak it,
I was about to say that.
If you soak the fabric and then put it on how you want it to look, it actually dries and kind of stays in that same
really
format.
Especially when it's kind of new like that, if we haven't broken in the fibers. Yeah.
Like those straps, if you want them to look draped in a certain way, soak them in water first, lay them the way you want them, or shape them the way you want it, and then let it dry.
There it is. See how it lays down on his neck?
Yeah,
now that looks normal. It's way better. It's like a billion times better. So yeah, stuff like that is just unbelievably cool. And then of course I also got the bar, the Trench Viper bar, which just looks amazing. The color match between the figure and the actual thing. Now, what I think we mentioned it, and when we talk about modular ability, is that all of Matt's playsets, the way that they join together, it's like I feel like I'm playing with my stuff as a kid, where you can take the pin out, take the end off, you can put them together, you can take them all apart and then mishmash, put it back together however you want. I think that is just the coolest thing. It also allows you to put, different stuff on different shelves and different, and all the different ways that you can kind of combine different stuff. I just think that is just the coolest darn thing. Like, just as a quick example. So here is the arc cannon, right? You can take, let's see, I'll move this out of the way. Take this pin out. You take that side off, and then as you see, here's the 1, 2. The corresponding piece would have something that slides right in there, and then you just put the pin back in. It's a pretty awesome system that, given the, you're putting these things together and how it doesn't just look like tossed together. It legit looks like, when you put it, you're like, oh, this looks like it could have came this way, that sort of thing. Like the outpost, the bar, this, and is there one more thing, Matt?
Oh yeah, there's outpost bar, the sky hammer, the arc cannon, the DOA, and a couple other things that'll be out soon. They're just
sky hammer. What is the sky hammer?
That's a anti-air missile launcher. So I made it to use those blast effects that they had backwards on the missile launchers. So
I still can't believe they did that. Like how, and then they just keep making them like that too. Like somebody had to.
Didn't they release like a post about it? Like the defending it at some point.
Oh God!
They doubled down. They're like, nah, this is right.
You know what we're talking about, Mark? The blast effect that comes with so much Joe stuff. What it would be is the part that's supposed to go into the machine, into the thing, would be the red part, and then the white would be at the end. And they don't have it that way. It's white and then red in the back, and it doesn't make sense. That's not how it works.
Right. Okay. Nice.
But yeah, Matt made the full red, which looks fantastic. I mean, they definitely got it right with like the missile stuff that for like the Rattler or the Dragonfly, the ones that they have there, it actually looks fantastic. Yeah, those ones where you can put the blast effect on the wing and then the missile is like out in front a little bit, like it's actually launched off the wing. I think that's pretty awesome. They did a great job with that.
Nice. Well, I guess we'll just hit about 2 hours, so we'll call it a day. But what do you guys got going on? I guess Chris, you want to start us, and Matt?
Yeah, I'm working on some new products. I'm working on a couple things that aren't G.I. Joe related, but could be used with G.I. Joe. They're they're movie themed, so it's some different things that have some. I don't want to say because last time I said something, somebody else created it before I released it.
Oh yeah,
it's true.
But it is a movie themed weapon from a movie, like a terrorist type of thing. So I'm kind of taking a lot of themes from that, and it's pretty cool looking so far. The test prints I've done on it. So, and then I've working on a couple new armory cabinets as well.
Nice. And so you have your own website.
I talked to Matt about it. I'm hoping to do a little crossover with him on some of his stuff.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
And just best place is Sys3dArsenal.com or.
Yep. You can hit me up on Etsy too. It's the same thing. Everything's Sys3dArsenal. Okay. So Etsy or the website.
Yeah, Destro Designs promo code to get you 10% off at the checkout.
Yep.
How about Matt? How about you?
It's the same deal. I'm working on projects. I have again, a vehicle that's so close. Like I'm looking at a functional prototype right here.
I saw it. It's awesome.
And that will be out. If I don't want to give a time, because there's always a chance that something goes wrong. But like, I mean, you're talking like a week or two. It should be up if everything goes right. Then there's the Arctic Atlas variant. I don't want it just to be a white Atlas. So there's going to be a drone launcher back end, and that's mostly modeled. And there's going to be tank treads, and tank treads are like my white whale. I get close, and then it messes with me again, and I get so mad I go on and make something else. So we're close on that, and once I get that done, the tank tread, like it will have tank treads. Like it's not going to release them without tank treads. And it's going to be a tank tread that is made in a way that's not going to make it cost ridiculous amounts of money for what it is. Like I said, it can't be cheap, but it won't be like it'll be around. I'm trying to keep it around the same price range as the current Atlas.
Are you going to do Are you going to do like two different versions, like a solid version and a working version, or for cost?
I thought like maybe to keep the price down on one of them. That's a good idea. But I want to have the working one, before it's kind of like the suspension on the thing I'm making now. I'm gonna have the same deal where there's going to be a version where you don't have the fancy suspension, and then there's the one that's kitted out if it's what you want, just for different budgets, and really that thing we were talking about at Joe Fest that you were thinking about making. If you go ahead and make that, I think it'll go really well with this thing that's about to come out, if that's not cryptic enough. Right? So,
Nice.
Yeah,
for sure. You put a bunch of the mission crates in the back of the Atlas, and it looks fantastic. There is a dovetail between the products, cool. Right? I feel like a lot of them.
The inside of the Shadow Hawk, I sized to make sure those crates fit in there because I think they just look really cool in there.
That's awesome.
The ratchet straps, I could look even nicer. So
nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. All right, Destro, how about you?
I'm Destro Designs, Viper Den Studios. You can find me on all of the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. YouTube channel is Destro Designs. You can find me Saturday nights, 8 p.m. live from Viper Den Studios. Of course, you can find me here on Mondays. Mark, thank you so much for always having me. I appreciate it. Tuesdays and Fridays, I'm dropping articles for Serpentor's Lair. Make sure you're over there at serpentorslair.com. Get signed up for the forums. There's actually a pick'em football thing. If anybody's into sports, you can get signed up over there to do. He's got prizes at the end of the year and everything. It's actually, I looked at it today. It's actually pretty cool. And upcoming booklet coming out with for the figures for my brother Roblox line, the Shadow Strike. So I'm sitting down, I think, at the end of this week, couple days in a row, and I'm putting it all together, and we will have that out actually soon. So really drive the frenzy on them figures. So yeah, that's what's up.
Nice. And
how about you, bro?
Well, right now we are going to talk to the classified team on Thursday, so that's a big thing.
It's huge.
Interview all three, Mark Beasley, B Mac, and the new designer. So that was great for them to say yes to that. I'll probably put that out as soon as I can, so maybe later that day or maybe Friday. And then that's pretty much it, I guess. I mean, I'm just pumping videos out every once in a while, but
the Snake Eyes
one broke me. Broke my will.
And you're going to go out and buy a 3D printer and get started on that too, right?
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
No, the Snake Eyes video was awesome.
Like every home will come with one at some point.
Yeah.
No idea.
That's tempting. I just don't think the effort. It does seem like effort.
Yeah, I think at some point in the future, like I think it's gonna become an appliance. And
what is the Lost in Space Netflix thing where they like print their car?
Yeah,
and they're like, it's gonna take 6 hours. It's like
I mean, there's so many things that at your house, like they could, if they want to reduce waste, like the example I always do is like those 3M command strip hooks and stuff like that. Like they could just sell you the file to print the hooks, or like some monetary system where you pay per print or something like that. I don't want that to happen, but I think that's what's going to happen at some point. It won't be printing us food, but it'll be printing us stuff for our house.
There is 3D printed food. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Where they take like the proteins? They got it's
Yeah.
gross.
What?
Right.
Yeah, they like 3D printed a steak with like protein filament. Something like when it was done, it looked more, I guess, okay, but the process in the middle, where it's like just like the stringy protein, was.
And you could eat it, and you could eat it.
That sounds so incredibly dystopian.
Yeah.
That sounds so bad.
Could you eat it? Probably. Should you eat it? Probably.
Right.
Well, if I remember correctly, they announced that they were making that like literally 2 days after I'm trying to one of these rich guys. Bill Gates bought up like this insane amount of farmland or something like that, and is gonna, and then now all of a sudden he's gonna make the beef for everybody. It's crazy. It's very dystopian. I think I'd rather just have a cow, please, and thank you.
No. Don't stick to the real thing. Well, nice. All right. Well, I guess we'll call it a night.
Yeah,
but thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate coming on.
Thanks for coming, fellas. Appreciate it. Thanks everybody in the chat.
All right.
Starting off the week right.
Yeah.
It is Monday.
Yeah, I know.